Alright, welcome back to another episode of Game Crafters, where today we're going to be making some more prefabs to add on to this here thing. And there's probably a good few prefabs I could make, some standalone, some pieces to go off of this thing right here. So yes, if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like and subscribe for more. So we're going to go on ahead and we're going to make some more curved, if I'm spelling that right, curved mountain. I think I put it, I need to look at this. Mountains, yes, curved mountains P2. Because this is what we are doing. It's good to get more of these set and made, but I want to make some standalones too. I want a more wide standalone, a wide mountain standalone, which is like one of these, but a bit more, I guess, out width-wise. So yeah, we're gonna try to add some more of this stuff in here to, like, you know, better improve upon the amount of set pieces we have to work with. So, how big is this going to be, you may ask? It's got to at least be a similar size to this to some extent. Like, it doesn't have to be exactly that size. What was it again at, like 15? Yeah, so I think what we are going to do, I need to center this to be more where this is at. I think you'll be here, and this curve will be something along the lines of this. 15, wait, no, 17. Yeah, that seems like it works. Alright, great. Also, I don't think this is equal to where it needs to be. That should be it. Hopefully. I imagine it is. At the very least, it's close to what it needs to be. So does that mean it's going to be 7 each? Is this the center? What's the center? That's the center. Okay. So then I guess 9. 9 on both sides. That'll do. I don't know entirely what the plan here is with all of this. I just know that we need to do some stuff with this. Like, we could probably keep some of that open, but leave it a bit more... Oh no, there's some aspects that are a bit... Because right now this is looking a bit too, I guess you would call man-made. We don't want that now, do we? No, we don't. We want to try to avoid potentially making the mountains look too man-made and more natural as best as we can. So I guess something along the lines of that, with a little bit more going down. So by, like, let's say 9. 9 and bring this out to a solid, wrong direction, 7. Now we gotta do this something similar over here, and we'll get that done with. So, what is there to talk about? Well, I'm on vacation this week, so hopefully I can get a lot of stuff done with. Is my hope here. The thing I'm currently working on is taking quite some time to make, so we'll see how it all pans out. But yeah, it's a nice vacation because it really does feel like I need it with all of the annoyances that can occur at work and whatnot. Yep. So we now have vacation to look forward to. Even though at the time of recording this, I still got one more day of work to have to deal with, but it's fine. It should be fine. Unless machines decide to be stupid again. But otherwise, it should be fine. Emphasis on should. So anyways, yeah. Vacation, recording this on a Thursday, because it makes the most sense for me to record this on a Thursday. Just to make sure I have, like, pretty much everything taken care of. And, yeah. Just nice to have a good vacation to look forward to, I suppose. Also, birthday week again. So that's another thing to look forward to. Yep. So that's good. What would be even better is if I had more means of making money. But birthday's good too. I will say there has been some things happening on the back end that have been kind of irritating. What things I may be talking about, you question? Well, stupid things and stupid people in charge of things they shouldn't be in charge of. And I'm talking about payment processors. I honestly, at this point, I feel like they should not be in anywhere near the position of power that they have over some websites. It is kind of bullshit. No matter how you spin it, it is straight up just pure, unadulterated bullshit. The main job is to process payments, not to try to control what we can and can't buy. That's bull. If I want to buy something, I'm going to buy it. I don't care if you don't like me buying it. It's my own goddamn money that I'm making. My own money. Not yours, mine. You might get a small amount of cut of it, but regardless, it's still mine. I have to put towards every other goddamn thing on the frickin' planet before I can actually start using it in the way that I want to use it. But some people just don't want that. Some people just want to hone in the fact that you will own nothing and be happy. Well, I will not be happy. I will wish the sun to explode so we can all die, I guess. Why? Well, because you pissed me off. So now death is the only answer. No, but seriously, it's so stupid. I wish a lot of things would be better. But it seems like we're really living in the worst era imaginable for creations and whatnot. For creating, for making stuff. People want to make stuff and sell stuff, and people want to buy it. Well, can't do that because this freaking company and these dumbass bitches in Australia decided, oh, nobody can have that, and nobody should have that, period. It should be illegal across all universes. And to that I say, you're really playing with fire there. There are entities far beyond your comprehension that requires that kind of power, and if they don't get it, we are fucked. Alright? We are simply just straight up fucked. No amount of God is gonna save ye for when you piss those beings off. The collective amount of power that they get from the things that you so desperately want to oppose is what's preventing at least one of them from causing one of the worst events that could happen to all known universes. And I don't know if you know what the hell I'm talking about. I don't expect you to know, because I am currently the only one who knows of this event in this said universe. So, you fuck around with that thing, you're gonna screw us all over. And the other thing, well, you know, I hope you like Tentacles, because she is going to show you things that you have no concept of or idea of because of how much you want to keep your mind pure and innocent. The point I'm trying to make here is a lot of things can happen and can screw all of us over if you do the things that you do. So keep that in mind. Would I say that's a threat? No, it's a promise. Maybe. At the very least, it's not something you want to mess with. Men have messed with things far beyond their comprehension, and it has led them into some pretty bad and dangerous territories. So take it as a precautionary tale, or something like that. Or it could be a threat. I'm not the one issuing it. No, the ones issuing it are the ones with the unspeakable and unimaginable power. And I will not say their name, because if I do, they get more powerful. You guys think you have all the power? You have no clue. There are forces beyond our comprehension. Far beyond that. Anyways, I'm going to make a wide mountain. Because why not? And it's funny if that is actually going to be what's happening. Because I've always had the theory of whatever we create becomes real in some other universe. But if you create an eldritch entity capable of crossing between dimensions, you've basically created a potential death event, however you would describe it, that could end up in your universe. But the chances of that are so low that it seems unlikely for that to happen. Because again, if that theory rings true, there are countless different universes out there. Several dozen universes. Not even several dozen. I would say several dozen digits worth of universes. Maybe not even digits. Maybe it's a number greater than digits, which makes no sense. That's how vast it is. It's like infinite and further than infinite, topped on top of more infinite, becoming even greater than that, until eventually you become so overloaded with all of this information that you have no clue what the hell to do with it, why it is like that, and so on and so forth. Needless to say, there are so many potential universes with that theory that anything trying to get into our universe would be having a hard time doing so. Not only that, but the time travel theory. You go back in time, you create an alternate timeline already. If you go forward in time, you're not going to go back to the original timeline. You're going to go You're going to go forward into the new timeline. At least the theory that I have. And I don't know how popular it is, but it's one that makes sense and works well with the other aspects of the time travel theory. Any events you've changed in the past changes the future, but it's only changed in the future of the timeline you found yourself traveling in. In other words, that means you go to the past, your second timeline is created. Now, if you have the ability to track the timelines, you could probably get back to your original timeline. Now the question is, if you do that, would you be able to get to the same point, or would you, going forward at that point in that timeline, create another alteration of you entering into that timeline, but the original timeline version of you, or the original timeline that you exited from to get to the past, creating the second timeline, would that become its own timeline too? I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe if you do go back to your original timeline, that is basically a part of what the original timeline is supposed to be. I mean, you discovered how to go back in time. The timeline setup, whatever the hell is in charge of all of that, has probably at least had a comprehensive plan set up, taking into account you entering into a different timeline. And if you do manage to get back into your original timeline, then it takes that into account and will allow you to successfully go back to your timeline. Multiple different types of theories. Then you also got to take into consideration the potential theory that there are beings far beyond our comprehension who are in charge of such things. Or maybe not. Who knows? There's clearly a lot more to this world this entire thing known as existing, than we know and have any means of being able to comprehend or explore. We barely are even able to explore both our seas and space. So there's a whole lot of unknown unknowns that we have no clue of. So whatever theories could exist probably exists in pretty much every aspect of every timeline. The question is, what potential theories do we have in our universe that is not, true or exists in other universes? Because you gotta wonder, with the theory of us being able to create universes with, television shows, movies, and whatnot, you gotta wonder what the hell our universe was made off of if we're going off of that theory being true. Because that's the thing. There are countless things. We're clearly in a particular universe where not a lot of anything interesting happens. There's stories and stuff. People trying to create like cryptids or, rumors or stuff. Although nowadays some of those rumors have now become true with, in light of the certain events that have occurred. And there are some aspects to the things going on in this world that seem so comically evil. That makes you wonder, what the hell was our universe built and based around? And you don't gotta worry about like the fillers and whatnot. That's like a given. Any universe that gets created will automatically have whatever filler is in the mind of somebody who created it. So whoever the hell created our universe must have had some pretty terrible filler space. And if you don't know what I mean when I say filler, I'm mostly talking about, the people around you, the people you know, the things that you know, the stuff that you are, experiencing. Unless you yourself have created and deemed like a canon kind of setup where some of those things don't happen, like you logistically make it so that those things, the bad parts of the fillers, don't get made, then that's that. That's pretty much absolute is the word I'm looking for. But the point I'm trying to make here is that filler can occur, and we might be the filler, potentially. Though the filler within can still create things and expand upon even more universes, like what I'm doing with all of my shows and whatnot. Some people might think, Earth is literally just hell, right? It kind of makes sense with the way things are now and the way things have been throughout the course of time. If you've seen me play the Painkiller series, you saw what hell looked like. Literal warscape. Just a warscape filled with ghosts of enemies that I have killed. So imagining that's what Earth is like right now. Kidding, but you know. Funny to think. Either way, it kind of makes sense. Certain things that you want to try to do, but there's always some caveat that stops you from doing it. And it's like a group of people who are like, nope, you can't do that. We don't want you to do that. And now all of a sudden you can't, create, you can't document on things. There's something will always get in the way of whatever you want to do. Nothing can ever go right. It always will go wrong. There is never anything that will go right. At least most of the times, we'd hope. It could go very perfect, or there could be one minor flaw. Who knows? Potential theories and whatnot of whether or not the fact that we live in hell is actually true, which it does kind of feel like it half the times. I honestly have no clue what to expect going into the future. It's pretty bleak, all things considered. It shouldn't be bleak. It really shouldn't. But this is the future that we have to look forward to. At the very least. Still, though, my point that I made originally still stands. We as a species enjoys creating stuff. If you restrict that, well, bad things could happen. Now, what bad things, you may ask? I don't know. Eldritch horrors that rely on our creations to be able to gain the powers that they possess, or something. Assumptions. Just something to take into consideration. It wouldn't hurt. After all, the creations aren't hurting you. You can just ignore them. Go away from them. If a specific creation is aggravating you, just go somewhere else. The whole point of being able to, or actually, I would honestly say the whole point of the internet is to find the things that you like and stay within that circle. If you're actively trying to go into other people's circles and get pissed off that you find things within those circles you don't like, you're going to just constantly have nothing but bad times. Some people just do not know that boundary. They want to insert themselves into other people's circles because they don't like the things that they like and they want to make it known. And it's pretty sad. I don't like it. Nobody likes it. Trying to insert yourself into other people's businesses is kind of pathetic. Now, if it's illegal, then we obviously want to take care of that. But if it's not illegal, then leave it alone. Legal mumbo jargon aside, most of the times, the things that they're trying to get rid of are things that are small amount of support going into wanting to get rid of that. Until eventually they start going after the things that you like and censoring that. That's the slippery slope when it comes to stuff like censorship. And it's a thing that most people just do not understand nor get the concept of until it's too late. The things that they like have now vanished. Because those people are like, well, we were able to get rid of this thing, now let's get rid of this other thing. Oh, you like it? Well, too bad. We don't like it, so get it out of here. And those people who are like, who have no sense of agencies for themselves and will gladly just follow along with the process of removing the things that they like. They'll just follow along with it. Don't get it. I just don't get it. Some people just don't want free will, I suppose. I mean, to me, it doesn't make any sense. But, you know, it is what it is. I'll continue to create, and if I can't create anymore, well, I at least have some faith that I shall be in my own ideal afterlife, assuming that there is one, which I'm hoping that there is. Doesn't make any sense for there not to be. I feel like us as a species, like all living beings as a whole, our physical bodies isn't what our actual bodies are. It's our souls that's our actual bodies. Which, you know, makes sense when you think about the whole concept of, you know, being aware of your existence, of living and whatnot, so on and so forth. I gotta make more mountains because I'm back to doing the same thing. How much time is left? I mean, it's 3:25, so it's like, yeah. All of these are very interesting concepts, to say the least. Okay, I'm gonna make another wide mountain. I mean, I'd say it makes some kind of sense. At least some sense in a way for us to comprehend it in our current body and whatnot. In my opinion, it is, at least. So, yeah, that's where we are right now. We are currently just souls living within these physical bodies. But for what purpose? That's the question. What purpose do we have currently, at this point? What purpose do we have living within these physical bodies? These physical, sometimes weak, sometimes strong bodies, depends on how well you take care of it. What is the end goal here? If we as you know, a soul-based species, are we just trying to experience life outside of our comfort zone as ethereal soul beings? Are we trying to play out some kind of like ideal scenario where we get to live some different life or something? That doesn't make any sense. That's the thing. We have no clue what in the hell the purpose is, if that is the case. We don't know. We come into these bodies with no memories of our past, of the us, that is the souls. And assuming that is actually the case, we do not possess any knowledge whatsoever of that. So trying to figure that out is a futile task. Trying to guesstimate that is a futile task. There's no reason for us to even really try to guesstimate it. Just to live. And if we suffer through it, then we suffer through it. Does that make us better as whatever soul-based species we are? Maybe. Possibly. Who's to say, really? Maybe we get some kind of prestige system, improving upon our soul body or something. Maybe we suffer through our current life now, and then we go into a much more higher level universe or something. We get ourselves some new things to experience. It's a lot of potential aspects. Hell, that would be an interesting thought process. All of the particular also, let me make sure everything's required properly because it is frozen before, but it's only frozen for Pac-Man World to repack so far, so I don't know more. Anyways, back to what I was saying. There's a potential food for thought. All the creations we made, the fantasy creations we have created, sci-fi, mock brain, horror, stuff like that, all of that was things that we have experienced in the past as, the souls from other universes and whatnot. Like, it would make sense. How do we come up with dragons? Maybe another universe with dragons. Of course, somebody probably saw something that kind of looked like a dragon. They came up with the idea, and then boom. But creations don't come out of nowhere. They come out of our own brains, our own thoughts, our own being. So that does make me wonder if all the things we've created are things that we've experienced, fantasy-wise, or at least the baseline. Of course, it could just be inspiration from what other people created. But there are some people just have like way huge amounts of ideas, more than most people do. People like me who don't get like creator's block, artist block, writer's block, whatever the hell you'd call it. All of those ideas come from something. Comes from my brain, obviously. But sometimes I think maybe it's more than that. Maybe those eldritch beings that I have created have actually made themselves known to me, and that's why I am aware of their existence. Will something actually come of it? Probably not. It'd be interesting to think that something could come from it. But I don't think that's going to be the case. But it could be. Like I said, the unknown of the unknown, we have no way of really predicting it. So I'm glad we went on this rant. I don't really know why we went on this rant. It's not even a rant. It's like just trying to talk about creations and whatnot. You try to remove these creations from us as a species and kind of just remove all sense of living. At least to me personally. I mean, actually, when you really think about it, if we remove every creation in existence, or at the very least remove the good creations that people like, and we just have all this boring, safe stuff, we are kind of just killing ourselves as a species. We as a species live for creations. Like, no matter how you see it, that is the truth. We live for creations. Even if we don't create, we consume other people's creations. We are a species evolved off of entertainment. And who makes entertainment? Other people. There are those who are creative and will create things, and those who are not creative but will consume other people's creations because they like it. If you start restricting those things, then you're essentially killing off these people, which makes you a murderer. Now, you don't want to be a murderer now, do you? Because that's what you're doing. You're murdering all of these people because you're trying to take away the stuff that they like because you don't like it. And that is wrong, immorally. See, if I was God, I would be pissed off at you for doing that. I wouldn't care if what they like is not exactly what I'd be into. They like it, they can like it. Let them do their thing. I've created them to exist and do the things that they like. I'm not going to stop them from doing that. But then I see you trying to stop people from doing that, and I'm like, I don't like that. That is not that is not the way. And then I smite upon thee, because I'd probably be a very vengeful god. No forgiveness. Though then again, I joke around that I'm essentially a reincarnation of a god of creation. With the amount of creative ideas that I have in mind, the amount of creating I want to do, the amount of things I've made, the amount of universes I've made, the vast expanse. All of this sober, by the way. Most people wouldn't be even able to get anywhere near close on drugs to reach my level of creations and vast well of knowledge. Which is really saying something. It does make me wonder, something potentially greater is at play here. But also, it could very well just be that I am still very much full of imagination and dream and sense of at least some kind of purpose. You can't stop me from creating. I will find another means. And the thing about creation is, you want people to enjoy your creations. So if you get rid of any means for people to show off their creations, well, you're a dick. And you probably shouldn't have any authority whatsoever. That's just my opinion. But, it's just an opinion that is a pretty strong one that I stand by. So you're going to understand why I don't like those kinds of people who want to try so desperately to control what we can and can't do, can and can't create, can and can't buy. I hate those kinds of people. I hate those people who want to impose these restrictions because they want to control other people. I tell you, slave owners that are just born in the wrong generations. Might be an extreme, but in all honesty, that does still ring true for a large majority of some of these people. It sucks. I don't know why people are so adamant on wanting to, have people wait hand and foot on them. Same thing applies with, people harassing other people in, service industries. What do you gain from that? You just make yourself look like such a dick. Is it so difficult to want to be nice for a change? Or is it because of the fact that everybody in the whole world is just a bitch to you that you decide it's time to be a bitch back? Which I could kind of understand that. But you're putting that all in the wrong place. All on the wrong people who don't deserve it. But that's just... I was going to say a theory, but it's not really a theory if it's real life. Anyways, yeah, that's stuff. That's just stuff. I don't know what else to say. Not much more to say. I've said what I could have said. And what I could have said was that. Okay, I need to make another long mountain. I don't even know how to help. Because, we have some spikes here and there, right? It just looks like a bunch of spikes. The thing is, most of these spikes are there's cliff sides, right? So what more could I make? What do I need? What is it am I looking for? What do I want? Because this is pretty thick, all right? This is a thick mountain piece. Which is good, but it's a bit too thick. Why the hell? There we go. It's like that one over here. That one looks more like I guess this is also kind of like a spike, so I don't really think that matters too much. Okay, I knew you were up one. I just, for some reason, could not get you to show it. Yeah, like this, right? I mean, I guess I could technically, assuming this is in the right spot. Well, I don't think I can actually do much about that in that sort of department. I could technically just do this. Put it in the ground so it's like smaller. No. Don't do that, you fool. I see this is where we probably want to have like a second line up here. And this is, oh, braziers, right. That's something I could make and should make. No reason not to make. Okay, I'm gonna make us another long mountains. I should have the time, right? I got like 20 minutes, less than that, but still enough time. Long mountains. P2. Okay, I think I should probably bring one of these over so I can at least have this somewhat match this. It's going to be long, but I don't think it's going to be like the same length and matching departments and whatnot. I think it's more so just going to be... are you lined up? I know it technically doesn't really matter, but I still want to try to at least keep you somewhat lined up and accurate. I'll get rid of that piece, because I don't think we're going to keep it there. Alright, bring you to 0, 0, 0. Make you, I think you got to be 17, but not sure. Wrong direction. Actually, wait, hold on. 0. You're just long across the board here. Do you have the same... Okay, yeah, so you're 17 in length. So that means I probably want you to be at least 11 in length. Maybe 13. That's not what I want. I would say just to kind of like... I was thinking maybe I could, but now I'm not sure. Oh, also, you could probably be 3. Wait, do you need to be 3? Maybe. Maybe, babies. Alright, it's fine. 13. 14. That's not 14. Let me put you like here or something. $12? $12. $400,000. Okay, if you're gonna be 12, then put you here. Nah, I was gonna 10. Actually, no, I think you're 12, right? Yes, 12. Oh, I guess it is like that, so it doesn't matter. So we've got our spike here, and then we're going to have our spike here. And we're going to have, oops, we're going to have another spike here, and another spike here. Perfect. And now here comes the fun part of setting up these side lines. Making sure you are where you need to go. We don't want too much now. Might be too much. Okay, so then just have that do this then. Oh god, all of a sudden my eyes are like very tired. That's understandable. I've been very tired for so goddamn long now. And I suppose I don't necessarily need to worry about setting up too much here. Just record, or just post. Make sure everything's still recording properly. And then, of course, continue. Oh yeah, I probably could add an update to the weight loss and also getting more in shape journey. I have gotten to, I think, around, because this is weighing with shoes and heavy jeans and whatnot on a scale. I think I've gotten to 255, which before I was at like 270, I think I've said. So progress is being made. I've added in a jogging place to try to get more cardio in. See, I eat a lot of bread. What I consume is bread. So in order for me to be able to actually get to a point of losing weight, I gotta do more cardio. So I got jumping jacks and jogging place. I don't know if squats count as cardio, even though it's a leg workout, which doesn't make sense. I mean, jumping jacks is kind of a leg workout. Is it a leg workout still now? I'm not sure, because now I've gotten to a point where I can do like 25 and kind of stop and have some level of breath. Alright, I got that mountain set. Either way, the point I'm trying to make here is progress was made. Is it a lot of progress? Well, compared to the fact that I was probably around like 260 or so, maybe not. Or maybe it was like 258 or so. I don't precisely know the exact distance and amount that we've done. All there is to know is that I've made progress. Also, you need to be 0, 0, 0. Yep, progress is made. And if I could continue to make more progress, then good. The whole point of this particular weight loss journey is more so just so growing old and having to deal with physical pain, is no longer a thing I gotta worry about. That's at least the plan. Getting to that point would be great. For obvious reasons. I mean, who wouldn't want to be more in shape and still be able to eat the things that you want to eat? That's a thing that most people just are not able to have as easily as they'd like to have it. I can understand it. Finding a routine can be difficult. Finding the place to be able to do it can be difficult. I'm pretty lucky with where I'm at right now, so I'd say we have at least a good momentum going. Even though I'm going to be on vacation, I'm going to see if I can't get some more walks in. Hopefully if the weather is good. Because the time of recording this, it was rain snowing. It was one of the most strangest combinations. And that went on for who knows how long. Then I had to deal with that nonsense. So, yeah, all things considered, very annoying. The annoyance mostly comes into play when I had to deal with clearing my car out. Even though it was like 10 minutes wasted. Any time wasted is a lot of time. I don't want to waste time. I got stuff I want to make, stuff I want to do. And if time is wasted, then what the hell, man? What the hell? So yeah. Yeah, we don't got that much time on the planet, you know. So why would people want to actively go out of their way to make life miserable for everybody? You have to be a pretty horrible person to want that. Pretty horrible and uncaring person. That's the truth. I don't know how else to really see it other than that. So yeah, it's a thought, food for thought, basically, I guess. Don't be a mean person. It shouldn't really be that difficult. But some people just can't do that. For some reason, some people just cannot help themselves but to want to make life miserable for everyone else. It's gotta make you wonder what's going on in our life to want them to do that. For them to want to do that, I should say. More accurately. Anyways, don't know what more to say after that. I think we can all probably take a long break from life and everything that's gone down in it. It's just unfortunate to say that most people aren't allowed that luxury. That's just the way things are, and it really shouldn't be like that. Really should not. How's that? Like, how much is any of this going to matter? Right there. One space down, and we could put a nice spike mountain here. You are not where you're supposed to be. Yeah, I guess I could probably drill these into the earth here. That would make the most sense for me to do. Let's make this one a 270. See how different that one looks. There we go. I mean, I guess for the most part, most of this is not really necessary to be seen. Like, okay, maybe we can have, like, some of these in the back here going down to kind of act as, like, a secondary barrier. Makes sense, right? To change the order of which some of this is in, if possible. I could probably do this. That goes into that, connects with that. Now, whether or not we'll actually see that is a question. But it does make this look more mountainous, I'd say. Instead of it just being the slope that it is, you at least now get the general idea of what I wanted to do here. It's going to make this way more important. Because having all this rendered in is probably not going to be good for the GPUs. Same thing happening with the grasslands. I gotta get to a point where I can actively start doing that kind of stuff off camera. I've just got so many things on my plate. Terraria Nukem Edition is doing good so far, though. Well, so far, I should say, but it should be doing good at this point if I'm going to be working on it 2 hours in vacation. Also, how much time is left? 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to see what more I can do with all the decorations here. I'm sure there's at least a good few things. We got some good mountain pieces, but it makes sense for there to be this many mountain pieces. Oh, well, fuck. Okay, hold on, I got an idea. I'll move this over here. I'll see if this works here. It should, theoretically. Yeah. I can even probably, never mind. I forgot about that tidbit. Well, I probably could. If I bring that in one, bring that in another one. No. That's fine. It's fine where it's at. It doesn't exactly matter. I don't know if anybody's going to really be able to see that very well, so in the end... Take me to here. Actually, better yet, take me to here. See, I need to make more of these. Like, the Spike Mountain is something... Technically, I should have, like, 3 sharp mountains. Technically. Is that direction I want you to be in? Yeah, that works. Are you leveled, though? And yes, you are. Take the second sharp mountain and put that, like, over here. I honestly can't imagine setting the occlusion up is going to be too difficult. Like, practically, it should be a very easy thing for me to just set up and get it where it needs to be. Or at least actually set one of them up. But logistically, I would say the only logistical problem we might come across is, you know, the process in creating the damn thing. Like, what pieces do we want to have connected and hidden? When you take enemies' movement into consideration with some aspects of their, you know, proclivity to just exit the plane where they reside in, like, will doing occlusions like prevent that from occurring, or is it like something that can be adjusted? Or should I have all the enemies and the off on their own thing? But the end, see, that's the logistics right there. Having the enemies be a part of the map here kind of makes the most sense, but also at the same time, having them be a part of their own little category is probably... I mean, but also it's like, I have to remember to add the enemy in if I'm making another one of those set pieces, because otherwise the enemy won't be seen. And say, like, the ocean. Depends on how many enemies there are going to be. We probably don't even need that many enemies in some areas. But having enemies moving around the map is like, it makes it look more lively, showcases like the enemy patrols moving around, doing their thing, yada yada, whatnot. It's just a nice little thing to have, basically. And I like it. I like having these little enemies moving around. But they're going to be a nightmare to try to figure out how the hell I'm going to get them to work. I got some aspects of a certain thing kind of doing its own thing, so that's like not an issue. Wow, that's nearly perfect. I mean, that works. More spikes and whatnot to like showcase some of that. We don't even have to have all of it be spikes, is the thing. Yeah, and this probably can stay somewhat barren of mountains because this is supposed to go down to what is essentially a pit full of tar, i.e. the tar pits. I mean, this is a good amount of progress. I still feel like I need to make more mountains. Like, what new mountains did I make here? I made Curved Mountain 2, Long Mountain 2, I made Wide Mountains 1 and 2, so progress in mountain creation is good. You could probably argue that what I have is fine enough, and any more would just be redundant, but at the same time, redundancy is not really an issue, it's more so just... can I make a good set piece to work across all the boards? Also, I got to remember this is a bunch of braziers, so that's going to be a fun one to make. Part of me also wonders if I should spend the next episode working on this, but I'm at the point now where I'm starting to get prefabs in. I might as well at least try to get everything I need set up for that. So I suppose that's all the time I have for today then. So thank you all for watching today's episode of Game Crafters. A lot of psychological, philosophical discussions and theories and whatnot, amongst a bunch of pretty terrible things happening on the internet and in real life, and it's all bad out there. But hopefully you're enjoying these series and it's a little escape, the very few of you who are watching, and hopefully you are looking forward to my next creations, so long as I can continue to show them to you. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like, subscribe for more, check out that there playlist, and of course, read the episode of Game Crafters right over here, and the most recent episode of Subnautica right over here. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next episode. Later.